Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we got another Prize Picks video for you. We're going to be talking about the NFL slate on Sunday, December 10th. Excited to get back into some football. We don't have any basketball on Sunday, so it'll be nice to just kick back and enjoy some football without being distracted with multiple sports going on. I'm kind of in a position too, after that total beating I took from Jordan last week. I'm hanging on by a thread in my dynasty league. I'm not technically mathematically fully out yet, so I'll be watching pretty close. Jordan clinched. I think you clinched your first round bye, didn't you?
Oh yeah, first place,
baby. with that beating I took. It could have at least, I don't know. That was a rough one for me, but all right. So we're gonna just get right into the picks. We're in a little bit of a hurry today, so we're gonna try to get through these a little quicker than normal. But we are feeling really good about all of these. If you've never tried Prizepicks, use our promo code at the bottom of the screen. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. Literally, if you use the full 100 on your first deposit, they will give you 200 to play with. So definitely take advantage of that. Throw our code in there and they'll hook you up with that deal. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. We run a lot of different types of shows and we've got more on the way. Make sure you're subscribed and you'll be notified as soon as we drop our videos. All right, so let's get into these plays. To get us started, I'm going to be going with a fantasy score prop, and I'm going to be going with Roschon Johnson here. I think this is just really low at just 5.5. The running back for the Bears, and he, with Prizepicks, it's full PPR. So if he just gets like 2 receptions, he's halfway there. If he gets a little bit of yards with those receptions, obviously 3 full receptions would be more than halfway there. I just think that he's going to be capable of going over this. He actually, there's a lot of rumors that at this point in the season, they spent a 4th round draft pick on him, and they were really high on him, and he was supposed to go get drafted a lot higher than that. And he dealt with an injury and kind of fell down the ranks a little bit. But he's also, he was playing behind Bijan Robinson. So he's kind of been like this hidden gem. Those of us who've been following him know that he has a lot of upside. And I think that we're at that part of the season where they're going to start giving him more run, because we had Khalil Herbert back healthy, and he out-touched Khalil Herbert 15-8 last week with Herbert being healthy. So I think that it's starting to turn into that time, and I want to take a shot on this because I think we might be getting ahead of the curve here, ahead of where the projections are at. And without touching him 15-8 last week, we had him go for 12.5 fantasy points. And again, with the full PPR, that's just like 5.5 is so low. So I'm going to be taking the over there. If we look at what he did last week with getting the bulk of the work for the Bears as a running back, he got 5 targets and hauled in every one of them for 5 receptions and 40 yards. He had 10 carries for 35 yards. So, 3.5 isn't that great. It's not terrible, but he's capable of way more than that. But I'm really excited to see them finally giving him more work. And even if it's a 50-50 timeshare, I think 5.5 is just really low for him. If we look at what the Lions are allowing to running backs on average, they're allowing just under 18 rush attempts per game for about 61.5 rushing yards per game. And they're allowing just under 6 targets for just under 4 receptions per game for about 37 yards per game. So this is just too low. It's full point PPR. So I'm going to be taking it for the over. And let's just quickly take a look at that over under. So we've got a 43 point over under with the Lions favored by just 3 points. Last time the Bears and the Lions played each other, it was a really close game, and the Bears got out to an early lead. Lions came back and won it at the very, like literally with like 30 seconds left. So this should be another good matchup. The Lions haven't been playing up to their full potential lately. I think that they are going to be figuring things out pretty soon. I think they're a really good team this year. Bears have been figuring it out too. Bears have a great defense right now. This will be a fun game to be watching. And, you know, if we're catching this early with Roshan taking over the backfield, like that is just way too low. So I love that pick. My next pick is going to be a receiving yards prop. And it's going to be for the tight end for the Cincinnati. Actually, no, my bad. One sec. Where's he at? Yeah, Cincinnati Bengals. Tanner Hudson. This guy's been kind of flying under the radar. He's very talented. He's been hitting this just every week. Obviously, he's 5 for 5 right now. This is very low. And as soon as Browning took over, once Burrow got hurt, he's been relying on Tanner Hudson, who's just, again, he's kind of like, he's this up and coming tight end that could go on to do really good things in the NFL. He's been very consistent so far. 23.5 is just too low for me. I think he's going to be able to be utilized and hit this. But yeah, even Browning has been going after him, utilizing him pretty well. That game against Jacksonville was such a fun game. That was our big night with all of our sweeps. And that was just such an entertaining game. And Browning kept it very competitive the entire game. So he targeted Hudson in that game 4 times. Hudson hauled in all 4 of them, ended up going for 35 yards. And if we look at what the Colts are allowing to tight ends on average, they're getting over 8 targets a game, hauling in about 5.5 of those for about 59 yards on average. And I think the Colts are going to be putting up a lot of points in this game. They've been a pretty fast-paced, high-scoring offense all year. And I think that the Bengals are going to have to keep up. Take a look at that over-under real fast. Yeah, so again, pretty high over-under, 44. 44-point over-under, and the Bengals are actually favored by 2. This should be a fun game. Another one I want to get multiple pieces of, but I'm definitely going to be playing Tanner Hudson for over 23.5 receiving yards. And then my last pick is going to be a rush attempts. And the odds on this are about 50-50. But I'm going with my gut on this one. So if it's too risky for you, fade it, go pivot into something else. But I'm going to be taking Russell Wilson over 5.5 rush attempts. Again, this isn't juice to the over, but if you pay attention to what he's been doing lately, he's been utilizing his legs again quite a bit when he needs to, when he's playing good defenses. Against Minnesota, he didn't really need to so much. But he rushed the ball 8 times against Kansas City, who's like one of the best defenses in the NFL, 9 times against Buffalo, 10 against Cleveland, 10 against Houston, all of these tough defenses. And he's playing the Chargers. So I think, I'm pretty sure Khalil Mack is the sack leader on the season. And so with this matchup, I think that there's going to be a lot of pressure on him, and he's going to have to just scramble and try to, turn a lot of situations into, positive, maybe just a little bit of extra yards, run out of bounds. He'll try to extend the play a little bit, but it's not like Sam Howell where every single time. Sometimes Russell will see an opening and take off. He's been doing that a lot more. That's definitely trending up. So with the Chargers, on average, quarterbacks are only rushing the ball like 4 times. They haven't been playing a ton of mobile quarterbacks. But when you look at someone like when they're playing the Ravens, obviously Lamar Jackson is going to run the ball quite a bit. He went for 11 just 2 weeks ago, 11 rush attempts. So I'm kind of just going with my gut on this one and thinking 5.5. I think that's just a little too low. I think that he can average at least 2 rush attempts per quarter in this game. Let's take a look at the over-under for this one. So we've got, again, 44-point over-under with the Chargers favored by 2.5. So Yeah, I'm feeling good about this. I just, sometimes you got to just look at the trend of what the player's been doing, and 5.5 seems too low to me. So these are the three I'm rolling with. And what do you got for us, Jordy?
Yeah, man. So to get me started here, I'm gonna be taking a. Let's see. I'm gonna be taking a rush attempts prop here also. I'm gonna go with my man Tyler Algier to go over 7.5 rush attempts. He's gone over this in the last 5 out of 5, and he's gone over this in 8 out of his last 10. This guy is very consistent in this category. They like this dude a lot. Unfortunately for all those Bijan owners out there, his snap share is not slowed down very much. The last time he played Tampa Bay, he went for 21 carries. I'm not saying he'll go for that this time, but I think he'll at least go for 8. He's averaging 11.8 attempts per game over the last 5 games, and over the last 10, he's averaged 13.5. So I think he'll go over this. Last time they ran on Tampa Bay, a lot of teams have been running all over Tampa Bay. They are a pretty good rush defense. If we look at what they're giving up to running backs, they're giving up 20 carries and 84 yards a game between the running backs. So, obviously Atlanta is taking a very run heavy approach with these running backs. So I think Bijan's been getting a ton of the work now. Obviously, he's getting up in this heavy carry range, 22, 16, 18. But Algier is still going to have a role in this team. He's very good, and he's very consistent. So I like him to at least go over 8. This is a minus 135, and they're projected to run the ball 28 times against Tampa Bay. So I think he'll easily go over this line. Hopefully, the only fear I have is that they might go down and have to throw the ball, but I don't think so. I think they'll beat Tampa Bay in this matchup personally. So I like them to run out the clock here, and I think he'll go over 8. And for my next pick here, I'm going to be going with a receiving yards prop, and I'm going to go with Tyler Conklin. Now, Zach Wilson is going to be back, and this is one of his favorite targets when he is playing. Even when Zach Wilson wasn't there, Tyler Conklin was very productive because he is so good at finding the soft spot. He's kind of their safety blanket type player. Whenever they need a big play, he can make one happen. It's not like he's going to break out and score an 80-yard touchdown or anything, but he's good at getting these first downs when they need him the most, and they go to him a lot in those situations. If we look at what the Texans are giving up to tight ends, they're giving up 9 targets, almost 7 receptions, and 62 yards a game to tight ends. So I just like this to go over. I think it's a pretty big no-brainer. Obviously, I think the Texans are going to probably win this game, but I think that the Jets are going to be down, and they're going to need to move the ball quick like they have been all year. So I like Tyler Conklin to get his fair share here, and he's projected for 5 receptions in this game. So I like him to at least go for 27 yards. So taking the over there. And then for my last pick, I'm going to be going with a passing yards prop, and I'm going to take Matthew Stafford. Now, this is a very tough matchup for him. He's playing Baltimore in Baltimore, so this is going to be a tough one. But 200 yards for Matthew Stafford is really low. It's set at 195.5. I'm going to take the over here. It's a minus 120. He put up 307 yards on San Francisco in San Francisco. So this guy, I mean, it's Matthew Stafford. Like, I don't have to sit here and glaze him all day, but you guys know how good he is. He's only gone under this twice this year. It was against the Seahawks and the Bengals, or he's actually gone under it 3 times. But in the last 10, he's only gone under it twice. He's had weird games, but he was also dealing with an injury for some of the years. So now that he's looking healthy, he looks a lot better. Tyler Higbee is questionable, which I wish he wasn't because that is one of his great targets. But as long as we got Cooper Kupp and it doesn't look like there's any injury report on Puka Nacua, it looks like he's going to be playing. So I like him to go over this against Baltimore. It's going to be a tough game. This is one that I feel good about, but it is definitely like a little risky. But, we look at what Baltimore is giving up to quarterbacks here. They are giving up 37 pass attempts, 22 completions, and 202 yards a game. They've played some really bad quarterbacks this year. They've played the Browns twice. The Browns have not been great this year, and they gave up 213 yards to DTR. So I like him to go over this. Matthew Stafford is a whole lot better than DTR, so I think we'll be good on this one. So that's the 3 I've got.
Great. So yeah, that's 6 for you guys. And pick out your favorite ones. You don't have to play all of these. We put out a lot more picks than most channels. You'll never see a video with us taking less than 4 picks. Most of the time, by the time a slate comes around, we've put out 8 to 10 picks. That's not because we're like, when we made this channel, we were players ourselves with Prizepicks, like we still are. But we would often be looking for channels that were giving out like 6-pick slips, not because we wanted to play all of them, but just we want to see what people are getting into. We want to hear the narrative. We want to hear why they think these players could hit. And a lot of times we would, go to that channel and we would agree with some of the picks. We would disagree with the others. We're not going to get all of these right. And by putting out 8 to 10 picks a slate, it's going to be a little bit bumpier than some of these channels putting out 2 picks and then, talking about going like 20-0 or something. It's like, well, yeah, if we put out 2 picks a video, you can go on a pretty wild streak. We're not here to try to compare ourselves and have some sort of competition for how great your record is. I'm just saying, like, you don't have to play all of these picks. We're just trying to provide a little bit of analysis on a little bit more picks for some people that just want a little bit more content, if that makes sense. So play what you're comfortable with. We're not going to get all of these right. We do feel great about all of these, but just use them however you want. Have a lot of fun. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, and make sure you check out our Prizepicks video for the NBA Cup game. That'll be attached at the end here. Because you can mix and match that. We're going to be mixing and matching like some of those picks from the NBA with some of these for tomorrow. So yeah, use them however you want, guys. We hope you have a great weekend. Shout out to Boston Nick. Shout out to Skywalker DFS. We appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Good luck, guys.